Hello, hello. If you are here, then you downloaded the Build a Growth Mindset Workbook. And so I wanted to take a little bit to kind of walk you through it and give you a couple other pointers on it. I am Dr. Nina Jefferson, board certified clinical psychologist and master mindset peak performance coach with Path to Alignment. And I created this resource and others, and we'll be creating quite a few because we're all human. And I, went through some struggles and setbacks in my own life and really went through doing like a lot of mindset work for myself and just had a lot of ahas on how passionate I am about really wanting to get this out to other people that are kind of in the same boat, and these type of resources can just push you further faster. So just wanting to share that and spread the love, spread the knowledge. So if you know you've been playing it small, right, in any kind of way, it could be, not starting that business that you know deep down it's been calling to you, or not expanding the business that you already have. Like, you're comfortable, so you're playing it safe right there, or even just settling in a relationship, right? You could do better. You probably shouldn't put up with X, Y, and Z, but you are. Or maybe you feel like, you can't do any better, or too afraid to even start one, or might have had a lot of heartbreak and it's like, that's it. That's it, and or just getting comfortable, just comfortable in your life, complacent, and you need to work on personal development. This type of workbook is helpful for you to apply, right? Because all of that is mindset blocks and needing mindset shifts. So let's get in it. Let's see. So really, if you feel like you're stuck or in a transition, needing to push through those kind of things, these kind of tools are going to be things that help you build a growth mindset and kind of get out of the fixed stuff. This type of mindset, it can add years to you not getting where you're supposed to be if you don't take the time to deal with what's up here. It's important, and you want to do this stuff sooner than later, so let's get into it. So in this workbook, you're going to hear fixed versus growth mindset. On the first page, it kind of, gives you a little introductory to that. But it's just another word. Fixed mindset is another word for the popular term you hear called limiting beliefs, a lot these days. So you can kind of interchange that. And what it basically is, a fixed mindset is like the belief that you're pre-fated, like there's nothing you can do to change what's happening to you and around you, and that things really can't improve. That's more of a mix of a fixed mindset. It's almost like a learned helplessness kind of thing. It's, you hear people never try, never fail. It's something like that. It's just, it's like no matter what you do, no matter how much you learn, no matter how much you try to change your circumstances, you're still gonna be stuck in the rut, and it's not gonna get you out of the hole or get you into a different quality of life or type of life. That's fixed mindset stuff. It can come in little bitty nuggets or real big beliefs, right? Very obvious ones. And so I am really passionate about giving people more practical how-to tools on how do you change that. You'll see a lot of posts, you'll see a lot of information, and it's like, think positive, or, be the person that you want, make the change. But the how-to part of that is not there. The limiting belief that you're struggling with day in and day out, it's not there. So I'm really passionate about giving people some tangible ways to work with a very, abstract thing like your thoughts. So that's why I've started creating these type of workbooks. What you'll see, and I'll be looking at the workbook because I'm walking you through it here. So what you'll see in here, it's like 3 main steps, and I kind of break them down. And so step 1 is awareness. Identify what your limiting beliefs or a fixed mindset is for you, pertaining to whatever walk of life you're dealing with at the time that's causing a problem. Is if you don't know what you don't know. If you don't take the time to slow down and think about your thinking, to think about, is this even a healthy belief I should have? Is it even helpful or is it hurtful, kind of thing? Then you can't make a change, So for adults, oftentimes we're so busy with the busyness of life that oftentimes we don't slow down to think about, what are we really telling ourselves? Like, what record are we letting play? That's old school record, but what song are we letting play in our minds? Is it like blues? Woe is me. Things aren't going right, country blues, or is it more uplifting, inspirational? What are you telling yourself? What are you feeding yourself? And if you notice that it's a little bit more on the negative side or glass half empty, pessimistic side, it's going to show in your actions. It's going to show up in the way you show up in the world. So you want to take a minute to reflect on, what is that for you? So that's step one. And if you go to the worksheet page, it's going to explain what a fixed mindset is, and then it's going to tell you, take a little moment to reflect on and be really truthful to yourself here. Be honest with yourself. What holds you back? What are your fears? What are your concerns? And put them down. Just brainstorm. Let them just free flow. Right. And then you'll be able to kind of chunk them in themes. So I'll be like, oh, this seems to be around, like I seem to have issues around money, or I seem to have issues around relationships or trust, or fear. But you'll start noticing themes on it. So you want to ID it first. Step 2 is overcoming the limiting beliefs. Right? How do we do that? And that's where the practical piece comes in. So if you go down on the workbook, you're going to see a sheet. The first sheet is for you to write in, but the second one is an example of like what it looks like, because it's a little hard without an actual thought that we're going through on the worksheet. So I'm going to go through it so that this makes sense to you even as you read it. So you're going to see the one that has the arrows going down, down, down with, we're funneling down on the limiting belief and we're chunking away at it basically. So it says, out of the fixed mindset you identified, take a moment to reflect and then identify one of the thoughts that's been playing in your head most frequently, right? So out of that brainstorm list, take the one that's getting in the way the most, like start there, right? You can do this worksheet over and over until it becomes mental habit and you don't need to put it down on paper. You automatically reframe your thoughts. That's where I'm at now. I've done this so many times. I've created the mental habit that I catch that mess, I catch them beliefs, and I reframe, most of the time. I have a pretty good success rate. So for example, on here, I used a business example because I do work with I work with entrepreneurs, starting businesses or transitioning from 9 to 5 into business or in business fully as an entrepreneur, and trying to grow that, trying to expand it, things of that nature. So this is just one example I'm using. I'm in business. This is definitely something that's come up for me, still does sometimes. And so the example I put on here was, I will fail in my business. Now, you might not tell yourself that directly. It may be some version of that. It might be like, oh, we can't do that program. Or who am I to try that? Or, it'll be some level of that. Some level of I will fail in my business. It's some level of fear of failure, right? But for the purposes of this, let's say it was, I will fail in my business. So you've identified that limiting belief and you write it on the first row. And then you see the second one, it says, is the limiting belief helpful or harmful to your mindset? Okay. If it's holding you back and it's not propelling you forward, it's harmful. So this one would be harmful, right? It's harmful. If it's helpful, you keep it, right? If it's harmful, you reframe it. So this is harmful. So we're going to keep going down this list. So it says if it's harmful, the question is, How is the limiting belief a problem for you, right? How's it showing up in your life thinking this way? What's coming up for you? And so in this example, what I put down is, just as an example, I said, well, it's harmful to my mindset. It's a problem for me because I want a thriving business. Who doesn't? If you started a business, you want it to thrive. You want to be successful, right? So it's harmful to you because it's incongruent with your calling. It's incongruent, or it's not in alignment with your desires and what you know you're capable of, but yet your thoughts are telling you something different than the actions you're trying to apply. So it's a problem, right? So then you go down to the next one, but you're writing down however it's a problem for you. And then you go to the next line. It says, when did you decide this was a problem? And it's worded interesting, right? So this is really saying, what situation happened where you started accepting that or entertaining the thought that thinking was maybe more on the true side, more getting in the way for you in some way. Because there used to be a point maybe where you rejected the fear, that failure, like, I'm rocking this, but somewhere along the way, right? Because when you first started the business, you had to be all in. Somewhere along the way, the doubt came, right? So when did you decide this was a problem, right? And so for the example, I put, first started thinking about failure and failing after the first big business mishap happened, right? That first big, that kind of hurt the finances, or that kind of hurt the business, or hurt the image, whatever it is for you, and it sets you back in some way, right? So this is just an example of how this could happen. So that's what I put down here. And then it didn't go as planned. Things didn't go well. You took a hit. The business took a hit, and maybe you took a hit. So that's where it's like, that's where that started seeping in. You're going to write down whatever that is for you. Then the next question, so what we're doing, we're funneling down on this thought. We're chipping away at, like, where did I get this from? Where is this coming from? So if you get to the root, we can pluck it, What proof in life do you have that supports this limiting belief? And for here, what we're looking for is facts, just the facts, ma'am. You've seen that on TV. You're going to give facts, not opinion, right? Because opinion is easy to support, but it doesn't make it true. You're going to give facts. So behaviors, patterns, trends, data, that's what you're looking for here when you say what proof. So, for example, here I said, well, okay, if I'm going to think about proof that there's a fear of failure in the business, I'm going to fail. The proof would be, there's been a few bad deals. There's been a few bad interactions, or, something like that for a business person, because nobody's going to have 100% success rate in their business. Like, there's going to be mishaps. So they can maybe say, there's been some things like that have happened. And that would be proof as an example. And then anything else you're going to think of. But then, and you're going to go all in on that. As many things as you can think of fact-wise, like that supports it. A lot of the times what you're going to find is there's not a whole lot of proof for this part, because a lot of times the limiting belief is more off of feeling. It's off something we told ourselves without really a lot to stand on, but yet we just keep believing and entertaining it. A lot of times that's what's going to happen if it's a harmful thought. So you're going to go down to the next one, and it says, well, then what proof do you have that does not support the limiting belief, right? That's against that. Again, all facts, no opinion. Same kind of things, data, behavior, trends, those kind of things. And so what I put here for an example is, well, I've had more successful deals than bad ones, right? Let's say, okay, my rate is like 85, 90%. That's good odds right there. And if it's 85 to 90%, then that's the very opposite of failing, is it not? Right? That's way more success. And at 85, 90%, your business is going to be successful too. It's not going to fail just off that alone, just off that statistic. That makes sense? So that's one thing. And then I put, even the deals that didn't go as planned, they have not caused me to fail. Right. And even just in personal experience, I've had setbacks. I have a real estate investing business. I do fix and flips and rentals and some wholesales from time to time. And there's definitely been setbacks through all these changes in the real estate market. And so what I'm saying by this is and it does not cause to fail. You learn from your failures. You fail forward. You learn from it. You implement something different going forward so that doesn't happen again. Right? So it's more like, is it a failure? Is it learned opportunities so that over time you're just you're increasing stronger success rates, right? But you're gonna go with all the facts. So so you take all that, right? You kind of process, compute all that, and then you go to the last arrow where it says, now that you have explored for and against this limiting belief, right? Reevaluate that fixed mindset that you identified, which for us, it's, I'm going to fail in this business. I reject that for everyone in here or whatever you put down. If it was like, I'm going to fail in my next relationship, I reject that for you. So it says, fixed mindset, identify it, right? And ask yourself, what is it that you want to install in your conscious awareness to tell yourself when this limiting belief comes back up? So that's like really wordy, but basically every time that thought comes up, because it's going to try you, right? You're going to work through this. You're going to come up with all this stuff. Is like, man, why was I even here? Why was I even thinking this? Now that I've thought through all this and see all this evidence, but then something's going to happen that's going to come right on back up, So every time that limiting beliefs comes back up, what this question is saying is, what do you want to tell yourself instead to replace that limiting belief with a resourceful thought, right? Based on you've weighed this evidence for and against, right? And you've come up with a whole lot of points, facts, data, and all of that on why you wouldn't fail or whatever you've identified. And so for example, so instead of saying I'm going to fail in this business, now we went through all that, you're going to reframe. An example would be, the replacing thought would be, I don't like business deals to result in mishaps. I mean, who does, right? But I have learned from the successes as well as the failures. And in life, if I push myself to success, my business will be, it says in life, I have pushed myself to success and my business will be no different. These are facts, right? Can you argue with that in life you've pushed yourself to triumph or succeed? You wouldn't be starting a business. You wouldn't be where you are. You wouldn't be even downloading this if you weren't like serious about who you are in personal development and wanting to be the best version of you that you could be. So there's some success in your life to some degree, some level of it. And if you have that tendency, why would it stop? Why would it stop all of a sudden? So if that's birthed in you, no one can take that away except you, except the limiting beliefs. That's what can take it away. Only you can put yourself in a box. Only you can put yourself in a box. And it's those limiting beliefs that do it. So you gotta expand your mindset. And so that's what this is saying. It's like, remember who you are. Remember all those things. It may be challenging, but you can do it. And so whatever resonates with you, you're going to put it there. And then every time it comes up, you're going to replace it with that, even if you have to write it down until you develop the mental habit. So I hope that helps this worksheet or this activity make a little bit more sense on what you put in the areas. And then what else do we have in our workbook? Because it's packed full of goodies. So on the next page, you have a growth mindset, right? We're not going to just talk about the bad stuff and leave you there. So the next one is about growth mindset. And, growth mindset is the opposite of fixed. It's like a belief that, yes, we have potential. We can improve our abilities. We can expand our knowledge and we can get past our setbacks and failures. They are just learning opportunities. Right. So it's very different than a self-defeating kind of mentality. And if you research any successful entrepreneur, they have taken trainings or had mindset coaches or continue to do self-trainings and self-taught on growth mindset, on mindset itself, and know that that is a foundational component to their business. Because if you're locked here, right, if you put yourself in a box, that's it, right? You're only going to go so far because you contained yourself. And so it gives you some information about what growth mindset is. And then the worksheet says, okay, so identify where your strengths are with that. What do you already lean toward? Growth, that's more growth mindset. And write them down, and then do more of that, right? You want to increase what's working for you. You want to minimize the things that's not, that kind of thing. Now, how do you build a habit? Any habit research says it takes about 2 months, 66 days or something like that, to actually just start sustaining a habit, just sustaining it. It's not even like set in stone at that point. And so this is a mental habit that we're trying to build. You can't get away from yourself and you can't get away from your thoughts. So how do you build it? Every time the thought comes, you replace it with the other thought. You have to do that. You have to pair them and squash that other thought, because that's how you install the new belief and reject the old one. So repetition, 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 and being very aware of what you are thinking, right? A lot of times we just ignore it. We have a tendency to do that. And so the mental tracker is the next to the last page. We talk about cultivating a growth mindset, which I've already hit. And the mental tracker, so you can write down your limiting belief, and then right under it, write that, that new thought that you want to install. And then you can track it by the week. So you can make copies of this, but you can track it by the week just to kind of see how often did you replace that? How well are you doing with that? And this is just a visual accountability for you to help build the habit. Once you have the habit, you got it. You got it. And I have worked with plenty of people that definitely develop the habit before we ever finish, which is beautiful to see. And then the last page of this is to just information on how to follow me, support me through the journey. I'll be dropping resources here and there, and those kind of things. So if you like this, definitely check out my website, which is on here. Follow my social media stuff. I do a lot of content and information that way. And I have a newsletter, and I drop kind of resources here and there. So feel free. And if you like this and you like this kind of training, this is just the surface. This is just the surface. And so, as I said, I am a doctor of clinical psych, and I blend psychology and mindset coaching in my coaching business and my 20 years in this industry, and put everything into the clients that I work with in my coaching business. And I am known with my niche of doing breakthroughs, which is working with getting to the root of these issues and plucking them so they don't keep coming up for you, to just propel you forward to get where you need to be. They give you clarity, confidence, and certainty to get you unstuck in different areas of your life, And so if that sounds like something of interest to you, check out my website, book a free consultation call. It is free to you, so why not to have, a 30, 45 minute call with an expert and, collaborate. You might pick up something just off of that. And I have a couple other things, on the website as well. I do have an online course as well. And so all that information is on there. Check it out. I know that if you apply this on a regular basis, this will make a change. It will cause a ripple effect in your mindset, and it will shift it towards a growth mindset, and you will build that. So go to work starting today on it. Take it seriously for yourself, to show up for you. And, drop me a message and let me know how this is working for you.